A rare August weather pattern is setting up in the United States over the next few days. Severe weather targets the mid-Atlantic today, bringing a potential for damaging winds, hail, and a few tornadoes. And a massive low pressure system will unleash cooler air that is going to bring relief to many people in the United States. We're expecting a rare weather pattern over the next few days, so let's get right into the forecast. It's Thursday, August 20th, 2026, and you can see this is our severe weather outlook for today. We do have a marginal risk down in the southwest near Phoenix, Arizona today. We could see a few isolated severe storms down there. Could see a few isolated severe storms going from the Florida Panhandle all the way up into the mid-Atlantic, and then a few storms up there in the Midwest. You can see that we do have a slight risk over parts of northeastern North Carolina up into parts of New Jersey today. That's where I'm mainly watching for severe weather today. We do also have a slight risk up here for northwestern Kansas into parts of western Wisconsin, where we could be seeing some severe weather today. If we go ahead and take a look at our tornado risk for today, we do have a 2% tornado risk across parts of Maryland all the way up into New York. Then we do have a 5% tornado risk for Philadelphia down to Baltimore, Maryland. So we can see a few tornadoes out here today. We're going to have a cluster of storms push through. Any discrete supercells that we have embedded in a line will have a better potential to produce a few tornadoes out here. So if you're around Philadelphia, Baltimore, down to Washington, D.C., over even towards New York City, we could see a few tornadoes today. So it is something to keep an eye on. So have multiple ways to receive weather alerts if you're out here today. We also have a potential for damaging winds in these regions today out here. We have a 30% wind risk placed over some of the same regions that the tornado risk is under. So you guys want to have a way to shop down unsecured objects, as we're going to have winds potentially exceeding 60 to 70 miles per hour with a few locally greater. So I'm pretty concerned about the wind threat today. So have multiple ways to receive weather alerts if you're out here. We do have a 15% wind risk going down into eastern Virginia and parts of North Carolina, where we could also see some damaging winds in those regions. We also do have a threat for some damaging winds up there in the Midwest today. We have a 5% wind risk up here, so have multiple ways to receive weather alerts. See winds from 60 to 70 miles per hour. We could see a few winds greater than that, potentially getting up to the 80s out here around parts of northern Kansas and parts of eastern Nebraska today. I'd watch out for some strong winds up to 75 mile per hour or more, as we do have a conditional intensity group 1 risk for winds out here, so definitely be prepared for that. And out here, it's not just the wind risk that's going to be there, it's also going to be the hail risk. This is probably going to be the main concern out in the Midwest today. We could be seeing some hail up to hen egg size out here across eastern Nebraska today and parts of northwestern Kansas and southeastern South Dakota. Hail up to hen egg size can damage vehicles, so you will definitely want to be parking your car in the garage if you're in this hail risk today. So that's also going to be a concern. These severe hail events could also happen in northern Mississippi and northern Alabama today. It will not be a big concern, but in the stronger storms, we could see some decently large hail. Mainly with any storm that has like a lot of hail in it, we could see some hail potentially getting up to quarter size. So out here in Richmond, Norfolk, over there towards Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and Philadelphia, you guys want to watch out for maybe some hail up to mainly around quarter size today. So make sure to park your car in the garage and be prepared for some of that hail. As we head into tomorrow, you can see that we are expected to see another severe weather threat. I'm expecting tomorrow to be more of a hail threat than anything else. We could see a few severe storms out here in the southeast tomorrow, where we do have a marginal risk issued by the Storm Prediction Center. We do have a marginal risk up here in the Midwest, accompanied by a slight risk out here. So we do not have any tornado threat tomorrow. Our main concern will probably be damaging winds and hail out there in the southeast and over there in the Midwest. We could see some damaging winds up to 80 miles per hour if we get any storms really get going in southwestern Nebraska and northern Kansas tomorrow. Could also see some hail up to hen egg size tomorrow out here in Nebraska. So I definitely recommend to park your car in the garage if you're pretty much anywhere west of Omaha, Nebraska tomorrow, even in Omaha, Nebraska. I definitely recommend to park your car in the garage. We're going to be seeing some pretty decently large hail with some of those storms tomorrow out here. That's probably going to be the main concern. And then on Saturday, we are expected to see more severe weather. And believe it or not, we do have a severe weather risk up in the Pacific Northwest on Saturday. Could see a few isolated severe storms on Saturday up there, actually in western Montana, northern Idaho, and eastern Washington. So watch out for a few isolated severe storms on Saturday out there. Then a few storms are also possible out here in the Ohio Valley. That includes parts of Ohio, western Pennsylvania, and parts of West Virginia and Kentucky, even in parts of Michigan near Detroit. You guys could see a few severe storms on Saturday, mainly capable of damaging winds and hail. If we go ahead and take a look at our future radar for today, we do have some rain showers that are pushing through in the mid-Atlantic today. These rain showers could take away some of the instability. It's going to stabilize the environment a little bit. But notice how we have some clearing out here. We could see a few storms actually pop up in Delaware this morning. So we'll have to watch that closely. But if we go ahead and push up the future radar some more, our main storms will probably start to get going in parts of the early evening hours and late afternoon hours out here across parts of the mid-Atlantic. We're going to have a few storms that are going to pop up out here, and keep in mind this is associated with a low pressure system placed over the northeast, and that's going to bring a few storms that are going to fire along a front out here. So we'll have to watch this closely. These storms could produce a few tornadoes while they're mainly discrete supercells, and then they should kind of congeal into more of a cluster of storms, producing a damaging wind event mainly, but also a few embedded tornadoes that are likely going to be QLCS tornadoes out there. So watch that closely, especially if you're in these areas. You can see a few QLCS tornadoes associated with the line of storms. But these are also going to be producing a damaging wind potential and hail potential. So be prepared for that if you're in these regions. The time is going to be at the top left of your screen. Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, you guys probably got to be watching around between 7 and 9 p.m. for some of those storms to arrive. Same thing for New York. The part of the storms that reach New York might be kind of weak, so we'll have to watch that closely, but they could still be severe. But that's kind of where most of the rain is going to be rather than the main parts of the severe weather. We're actually going to have some severe weather go down here into the southeast as well today. We could see a few isolated severe storms out here in the southeast today in these regions. The main concern for hail being in the northern Missouri, northern Alabama, and parts of northwestern Georgia. So have ways to receive weather alerts if you're out here as well. If we go ahead and take a look at our significant tornado parameter values today, the reason they kind of upgrade it to a 5% tornado risk is because we have a lot of spin in the atmosphere, and this could definitely contribute to a few tornadoes happening out here. You can see our significant tornado parameter values are going to be placed around like 2 or 3, so it's not going to be anything too high. So they'll probably be more of brief and weak tornadoes, as they're not really expected to be anything strong. Up here in the Midwest, we're also going to have some rain showers that are going to push through this morning out here in the Midwest. These rain showers could kind of stabilize the environment a little bit, kind of take away some of that instability. Main storms will develop this afternoon after those rain showers push through this morning and into the evening hours. Storms are going to pop up probably potentially around 8 p.m., probably between 6 and 8 p.m. We can see a few storms pop up out there in the Midwest. These storms are going to be pretty big hailers. It could produce definitely some pretty large hail out there potentially. We'll also have a few isolated storms pop up out here in Nebraska, which could also be capable of hail, maybe even a few tornadoes. So these storms could produce a few tornadoes out here. So we'll have to watch that closely. They're going to be isolated. The models are kind of all over the place with these storms, but it's going to be kind of hard to forecast some of these. So just know that these can change a lot. We could actually see maybe a strong tornado threat develop out here in parts of Nebraska today. And the reason for that is because we have quite a lot of significant tornado parameter values in this region around O'Neill, Nebraska today. Some of the model runs have been kind of hinting at this, so we could see maybe a few tornadoes out here around O'Neill, Nebraska today, with maybe a significant tornado if the environment kind of evolves this way. So we'll have to watch that closely. A few supercells could pop up around O'Neill, Nebraska, which could produce strong tornadoes, but the main concern will be hail up to hen egg size or greater. So we'll have to watch that closely. And the few tornadoes will even be possible all the way up all the way up there into parts of central Minnesota today. So we'll definitely be prepared for that. If we go ahead and take a look at our instability for today out here, because we do have a very primed environment, especially out here where we could see a few supercells pop up in Nebraska. So we could see maybe a strong tornado out here if we get some of those storms to really, if we get those storms to develop. That's going to be the main thing where you potentially could, and it's going to have a very primed environment for that to really just strive in. Could see a few storms even going up here into the parts of Minnesota today. These will probably be weaker than the ones around Nebraska. It's just going to be less instability and less spin in the atmosphere, but they could definitely still be pretty significant and produce damaging winds, hail, and maybe even a few tornadoes. So we'll have to watch that very closely and everything like that. And then as we go into tomorrow, we're going to get a few storms form out here in parts of Nebraska, eastern Nebraska. We're going to see a few storms pop up tomorrow. It's going to be very late night storms, probably around 10 p.m., and then they'll kind of go all the way into like around midnight. They'll pop up out here in eastern Nebraska, northeastern Kansas tomorrow. The main concern with these will be damaging winds in excess of 75 miles per hour or greater, as well as large hail getting up to around hen egg size. So if you're in Lincoln, Lexington, Broken Bow, North Platte, Omaha tomorrow, be prepared for some of these storms, as we could be seeing quite a few damaging storms out here. They're going to pop up in the overnight hours, probably around 9 p.m., and then they'll kind of continue into like around 4 a.m. That could contribute to a pretty big flooding threat. They'll be pretty slow moving by the time they kind of weaken now out here. So I'd be watching for the flooding threat. If you're driving out here anywhere, definitely be prepared for some flooding with these storms. So yeah, these storms do not have a big tornado threat with them. So I'm not really expected to see a dangerous tornado threat. They're mainly going to be a damaging wind and hail threat, like I said. If we go ahead and look at our SRH here, we do have enough atmospheric spin to contribute to a few tornadoes tomorrow, though, out here. So a few brief tornadoes may be possible, and we might not have any of them happen, but we'll keep an eye on it. They could add a 2% tornado risk with this, so definitely keep that in mind. And then if we go ahead and look at the Rufus model here, this is going to be for Saturday. You could see a few storms out here in parts of western Montana and northern Idaho, eastern Washington on Saturday. These storms could produce mainly a damaging wind and hail threat. So Missoula, Helena, you guys want to watch this closely. It's not really expected to be like a widespread event, but it is something to keep an eye on. So we'll keep you guys updated. Just stay tuned to this channel and stay tuned to the National Weather Service. And we could also see a few storms pop up out here in parts of the Ohio Valley as well on Saturday. That could also produce some damaging winds, hail. We probably won't see a big tornado threat, but we will keep an eye on it, and we'll see how this environment evolves. So Columbus, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, I'd watch Saturday very closely. Won't even a few storms getting around Nashville, even near Charleston. So we'll watch that closely, and we'll see how Saturday turns out to produce the severe weather. Alright, now let's talk about some of the temperatures here. You can see that we do have some pretty nice temperatures across the Great Lakes. It's going to cool down a little bit over the next few days out here. It's going to cool down way more in a little bit, but I'll talk about that here in shortly. We're going to still get heat that's going to bake across parts of the southern plains, southern United States, and over there in parts of the Rockies. We're still going to have a lot of warm temperatures out there. I know Texas and Oklahoma, you guys are getting slammed by probably the warmest temperatures in the whole country, and that's not going to stop, okay? So stay hydrated out there. You guys know. But it's going to be very hot out there. I know I have some viewers from Texas. The heat is not going to calm down. That's one thing. So definitely still be staying hydrated out there. But we're going to have a low pressure system. This is going to unleash cooler air for summer, bringing temperatures below average out here in Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic. Could be seeing some temperatures down into the 70s, maybe upper 60s, maybe even down to the 40s and 50s up there in the Great Lakes during the nighttime. So we'll have to watch that closely. This is definitely going to be bringing a lot of relief, though, to you guys out here in the Great Lakes. So be prepared for that. It's going to be very nice. It's going to be next week is when this is probably going to happen. So, yeah, it's going to be very cool. It's not going to be that cold. It's just going to bring cooler temperatures for summer. It's going to bring a lot of relief to you guys. It could also cool down up there in the Pacific Northwest over the next few days too. So, yeah, then if we go ahead and push this up some more, it should last for a while. But as we get into very late August, then we could see some warmer temperatures start to dominate a big portion of the United States. Now, over the next few weeks, we're not going to be seeing like too crazy of severe weather over the next few weeks across the United States. We're just going to see a few of these smaller mesoscale severe weather setups in some areas. So it's kind of like impossible to get detailed into it when it's really far out, especially in the summertime. There can be boundaries and everything that can limit some severe weather. One thing I'm watching those on the 25th of August, we could have a low pressure system placed over Midwest, and this could bring a few severe storms out here into parts of Iowa, Kansas, and even over there towards Wisconsin, Minnesota. So we'll keep an eye on that. But a lot of stuff is going to change. It's probably going to be moving down towards the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, in the 26th as well. So we'll keep you guys updated. Nothing really too crazy in the Atlantic in terms of tropical weather over the next few days. We do have some tropical waves that are going to come off of Africa. Some models have been shown maybe a tropical storm forming, maybe a low-end hurricane. It's probably not going to impact the United States, and it might not even form. But we'll keep an eye on it. And then we do have a few storms out here in the Pacific. Anyways, that's pretty much all I got for you in today's forecast. Definitely make sure to slap a like on this video. Make sure to subscribe. And definitely click that notification bell to stay tuned to this channel. And I will keep you guys updated. Have a wonderful day. Bye.